In fact, Open Societies Foundation, which was established and founded by George Soros, was also under the scrutiny of the Ministry of Home Affairs. In fact, certain actions pertaining to FCRA were also initiated against Open Societies in 2016, something that Open Societies, in fact, acknowledges on its own website, claiming that some of its funding of NGOs in India has been brought under check on the part of the MHA. Let me go across to Bhavtosh as well, who's been tracking all the developments with respect to the latest action against CPR. Bhavtosh, tell us about why this action was initiated against the Center for Policy Research.
Remember, the way rates, in fact, a survey was conducted by the Income Tax Department in 2022, and that in fact created a lot of controversy with people asking, in fact questioning why India's premier think tank searches are being carried out there, whether this decision of the government, the decision of the center to suspend the FCRA license of Center for Policy Research is linked to the income tax survey that was carried out earlier. That's in September 2022. Is linked is still not clear, but a big development has taken place. The very fact that the FCRA license has been suspended, whether the license has been suspended with retrospective effect, or whether it has been suspended since last year, is something that needs to be clarified. But yes, the Ministry of Home Affairs sources have confirmed that Center for Policy Research FCRA license has been suspended. This comes at a time when Soros controversy is also, in fact, is raging, and the Center for Policy Research has not officially issued a statement.
Yes.
We have to wait and see how they will react to this. Remember, Center for Policy Research is India's probably India's most premier think tank, and the reason why this has been done is something that the Ministry of Home Affairs also needs to clarify because of the work that CPR has done. Most of their big, in fact, big columnists and big thinkers are, in fact, also are columnists in leading newspapers in the country.
Absolutely. We'll have to await that official statement on the part of the Ministry of Home Affairs and also the response on the part of the Center for Policy Research. We're currently joined by Mr. George Kurian, political analyst, and also Mr. R. Rajgopalan. Mr. Kurian, coming to you first. Do you view these actions on the part of the MHA as bona fide, or do you view them suspiciously? What's your take on what's happened?
There seems to be an audio issue here.
Okay, we'll try to patch that audio issue, but let me go across to Mr. Rajgopalan first. Mr. Rajgopalan, how do you see the actions that have been initiated with respect to the FCRA license of the Center for Policy Research being suspended by the Ministry of Home Affairs?
It is the right of the government. Whichever government is in position, they want to scrutinize the income tax of every NGO, especially those who are getting foreign contribution from foreign countries. And there is a chance of utilization certificate. You have to submit the utilization certificate to the donors and the copy to the income tax. What I find from the income tax is, suppose, Siddharth, you sell a house and you get capital gain tax and you pay the tax to the government, the capital what you gain from the selling of the house. Similarly, for the FCRA, there is a clause, you have to pay tax out of your contribution. The CPR is alleged to have been not paying this for the last 5 years, 2016 to 2021. So therefore, there is a retrospective effect. They got the letter issued in last year, and the CPR is set to reply. My understanding is Bill Gates is also giving donation, and ICCR, Indian Council of Social Science Research, is also giving donation to CPR. So CPR is an organization which is running on the basis of contributions from foreign funding, also including Indian funding. Therefore, they are liable to pay income tax. If they evaded it, if they searched it, why should the ecosystem cry for it, foul cry? Why should they do this type of foul cry? Because they are engaged in anti-research of the government. The government is elected by 303 MPs and 65 crore voters have elected Narendra Modi. Sitting in CPR in Janakipuri, you can't be criticizing the government's decisions. You know, for example, Manishankar's daughter Yamini Iyer is writing articles, research articles. And she is also in the visiting professor of some private universities, creating an atmosphere of anti-government, anti-India, pro-left, pro-China, pro-Soros, George Soros. These are all certain things, a nefarious activity. Therefore, what government has done is absolutely right. That is what I could conclude from my sources. I also heard that it is Bill Gates now will not be funding to CPR. Therefore, it's an ecosystem. For example, if you're sitting in one place
but a very quick counter question, Mr. Rajgopalan. The account books of the CPR might be under scrutiny, and if there's something wrong, then of course the government is entitled to take action. But can this actually be linked to the kind of content that the CPR comes out with? Because isn't that a completely different aspect of their functioning? At the end of the day, irrespective of who's funding them, they're also entitled to free speech under Article 19(1)(a). Would you not agree?
Of course, it is free speech. They should not be, taken any cognizance of that. But they can't be spearheading a campaign against India. Example, you said just the Open Society. And Open Society Vice President is walking with Rahul Gandhi in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Here, Manishankar, his daughter, is sitting, and she is the president and she is the CEO of Center for Policy Research. And there are retired bureaucrats. Former Foreign Secretary Shyam Saran is also in the board of members.
Okay.
And there are many seniors in the government officials are also there. Okay. Therefore, you can't sit and do a white collar, propaganda against government.
Okay, let me take this across to Mr. Kurian. Mr. Kurian, I hope you can hear me now. How do you view the actions that have been now initiated by the Ministry of Home Affairs in suspending, at least for the time being, the FCRA license of the Center for Policy Research?
Ask through you, I would like to ask the Mr. Rajagopal, is it a coincidence that the IT has cancelled the license for the FCRA license for the leading think tank Center for Public Research? Is it a coincidence? I would like to know. And secondly, the founder of Open Society for Foundation, Mr. George Soros, who believes in democracy and freedom of speech, when he questioned the Adani Group with respect to the stock manipulation and accounting fraud during his Munich Society Conference, 59th Munich Society Conference. So I would like to know, all those who try to voice the dissent from the ruling dispensation, is it a new normal in new India that they will be targeted? If there is anything wrong that the CPR is doing, they are free to, the IT is free to go ahead and look into the books of accounts and things like that. But having said that, this singling out of organizations and NGOs is a big question mark that one can look into at this point in time, because it's really worrying at this time.
Okay, Mr. Kurian and Mr. Rajgopalan, the debate on this will continue. We'll have to actually await an official confirmation from the Ministry of Home Affairs, which we hope will put out a statement explaining its actions and also the response of the Center for Policy Research. That's all for the time being. We have to slip into a short break. We'll come back with more on the other side.